Alright, so continuing on the preparations, I'm sharing with you this short movie I made yesterday while prepping the bike a little bit more for the trip. About 26 days to go, so you will see some of that in a moment. And then went shopping today, got some fresh socks, which means I actually need to throw away some because my drawers are too big now with old socks, unmatched socks, all that stuff. So that's part of it. Got some MREs, some new stuff that I will be eating during this trip, which I haven't tried before, all in an effort to get ready 20 days from now. Been fantastic weekend. You will see that in the rest of the blog post, some news about human trafficking here in Houston and how lawsuits have been filed to close suspected human trafficking sites, specifically the Treasures Cabaret environment. And then my daughter also sent me this great video from the Stop the Traffic organization in Europe that talks about how the careers of girls actually who dream of becoming dancers usually are how they are tricked into traveling to Europe, and then they end up in the red light district as prostitutes, dreams shattered and lives broken. So all of that in this current blog post, which is going to be primarily video. Thanks.
So today is a bike prepping day. Essentially just going to do one simple thing or a couple simple things. Need to replace the front fin. Probably, if you hadn't seen it before, it's been broken about a year back. So I'm going to be working on that, and for that I'm going to have to take side bags. While the side bags are off, I'm going to take the chance to tighten the bolts, because apparently they can actually get loose quite easily. And that's the bolts that hold the side bags, and put some Loctite on that to make sure that they stay tight if they fall. So this is going to be it. I need to take a few shots. I've never done this before. It'll be good training to remove the front wheel if I need to repair it anyway on the road. Better do it here. So that's where we go. So this is where it will start. Removing those bolts that hold the front fender off. Actually, we'll have to remove the calipers, and this will be the more interesting part, removing the actual front wheel. So I'll tell you how it happens. One of the first things to do, you run a strap from front fork to the center stand, and you tighten that so that the bike doesn't come down on you while you're working on it. The other thing I'm going to try to do is weigh it down on the back, even though it doesn't seem like it's going to need it. So that it doesn't, again, fall off to the front where there will be no wheel. All right. So step number 2. Okay, this may sound silly, but this is really historic for me. I had never had the guts to do this, but I'm pretty proud of myself right now. There's the wheel off, all the stuff hanging there. A lot of this has been thankfully done. Thanks to all the advice I've gotten from people online. Thank you. Yeah, I totally look like a geek and like an adventurer today, but part of preparing. So here we go now. Should be fairly simple. I'm going to remove that top fender and then try to get the wheel back on. It'll be the interesting thing. This is the way she looks without the fender. So getting ready to put the new one in. All right, so here's the completed work. The new mudguard was installed. Ended up taking significantly more time than I had expected part of it being that this part here was a custom part, and that got in the way of being able to install it flush. What that part does is it keeps the forks from hitting. I can be able to see here, they hit the suspension system. It keeps the fork from slamming into it. So that required some shaving off some of the pieces over here to make sure that it would fit, otherwise it wasn't. So took a little bit longer, but I think we're ready for this part. And while I was at it, nothing that actually could see it, but a number of the bolts on the bike were tightened as they can rattle loose. So we're moving ahead. One more thing chopped off. These are the new foot pegs also I installed a couple of days ago, along with the shifter. Both are supposed to be better for long terms, and the fact that the shifter actually goes back means that there's a smaller chance it would break on a tip over. So, but the thing that's most valuable to me today was to learn how to take out the front wheel, something I hadn't done, put it back, put the brakes back on. So, pretty good. Yeah, BMW 30 years unstoppable. That's what I hope it will be like when it's on the road. And again, it's all twin flavors.